Hey, welcome, guys. It is time for Bollox Talks and Tangents. We have the Blevins boys in Studio A. I'm not comfortable doing Bollox in Studio A, but
I know, but especially where your microphone's at right now.
oh gosh, I'm Lenny it. So in honor of Lenny, I'm used to pulling it around and having it all over the place. But Blake Blevins, my main man, I would say my right hand man, but he's my left hand today. Joining me, Lenny is on sabbatical. Mm-hmm. He's at a baseball game, I believe.
Yep. He is enjoying his Mets being up on the Braves, 16-4.
Yeah. No. I'm about to share the show. I'm totally Lenny it. I shared it in the wrong manner. At least I had the right show, but shared it in the wrong manner. So I'm going to do this right now. Blake, we're talking about some word origins. I picked TV shows that I thought did a great job on their final episode, and you picked ones that you thought were, or did you think they were good?
I mean, three of them, two of them were definitely like, okay, they're bad. Like one of them's like controversial, but still good. Like, and then another one I think like it's like universally agreed upon that this one was good.
Okay, all right, yeah. No, I mean, so it's a fun. It was a fun topic. We had a lot of content to choose from, and I don't know if we're going to get to all of them. And in the comments, if you guys want to talk about it, put out there the shows that you'd probably like to talk about. I think Bobby said Magnum PI in the previous one, but there was one show on Magnum PI where Ivan didn't see the sunrise, and Bobby knows what I'm talking about. That wasn't the finale, but it was probably the best Magnum show of all Magnum shows. So it'd been tough to beat that one. But first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about our sponsors. So you want me to start? You're going to start.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start off with our newest sponsor. That's Anastasia Miniature Golf, located on Anastasia Boulevard. They just redid a lot of their holes over there. It's a fun place to play. To me, it's the only place to play miniature golf in town. There's several to choose from, but this one seems to be the one that I always am drawn to. They have beer and wine. They have a great snack bar. They have ice cream in there. Beer and wine works for me. Ice cream works for you. Just appreciate them coming on as a sponsorship. We're excited for you to be on our team. All right, St. Augustine Pirate Museum. They actually have an event with the Sheriff's Department at the Colonial Oak tomorrow night for the reentry program. Cindy and that crew, they're always a part of the community. Appreciate you guys. Wonderful museum. They have over 800 original artifacts. All right, these guys right here, they're the MVPs of the week. Abear Kresge and Associates. It's tax season. You guys, if you tried to do the taxes on your own, you probably didn't get it exactly right. These guys, I go to them. I've been with them for decades. Appreciate their effort and their personal touch that they put on my tax returns. And just get some sleep, guys, after the 15th. Not yet. After the 15th. All right. City Gate Spirits. And I can tell you right now, I am drinking cookie dough whiskey. Cookie dough whiskey. And Blake doesn't like whiskey, but I just want you to take a little whiff of that. Does it smell like cookie dough?
It is accurate. It smells like cookie dough. The only thing is it smells like chocolate chip cookie dough.
It's not chocolate chip. It's
really?
Just regular. No, it's not. It doesn't have the chocolate chip in it at all.
Okay, then that's just my mind's playing tricks on me. Then
you want to try it? It's a lot of vanilla.
Okay.
You want to take a sip?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. All right. I won't peer pressure you that much, Wuss. Just joking, Blake. But no, it's excellent. It's a good sipping whiskey, a dessert whiskey, I think is what I would call it. And they just do a really cool job with their different flavors over there at City Gates. If you haven't done a tour there, I suggest if you have family coming to town, get over there and do a tour. Just wonderful people, and tell them that we sent you from Bollox Talks and Tangents. You want to talk about Kaiser's?
Oh, my favorite place to go, and like all the time, once a week. I usually get the signature sandwich, the White Streets, named after address, the 4 White Streets, St. Augustine Beach. Or hold on, they're in St. Augustine. They're in city limits.
They're in the city of St. Augustine, yeah. But Kaiser's Deli and Market, they also have a great market of local vendors that are in there, have a good wine collection, a good beer collection. Get over there, see Kurt. Sometimes Lenny's there at Kaiser's Deli and Market. And I normally have Coquina Coast Realty. We're kind of not doing that this week, but if you do have a real estate issue, give me a call, 904-669-7901.
But speaking about Kaiser's real quick, what's your punch card looking like?
Well, I let you do my punches because I always lose my cards. I'm the worst about those. I mean, people make money on the punch cards on me because I can never find them.
Oh yeah, definitely. But actually, this is card number 3 for me. I already have 2 up on the wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got 2 on the wall. All right, Melissa, this is not a bourbon. This is a whiskey, and it is made to be sweet. It's made to be. Read what it says.
Oh, dyslexic guy reading.
Oh, I'm not good at this. Our cookie dough whiskey, a harmonious blend of sweetness and warmth, takes you back to the good old days. Savor notes of buttery cookie dough, vanilla, caramel, and a hint of sea salt in every sip. Enjoy chilled, on the rocks, or pour over ice cream. I didn't even think of that. For a nostalgic treat. And I told you it was a lot of vanilla. Vanilla and caramel. So no chocolate in there, Blake. So Blake does not like chocolate. So this might be a whiskey that you can take 2 sips of instead of just 1. All right, it's time to get started into our word origins. I have 2 word origins. How many do you have?
2.
You have 2. Are yours any good?
Maybe.
What do give me a scale of 1 to 10. Where would you rank your word origins?
My word origins are probably judgmental.
That's a 1 to 10. Now I'm judgmental of like you answering that question.
All right, a 6.
A 6. Okay, it's above average, but we're not, not mid-range. 6 on both.
6. It's 6 on my first one. 3 on my second one.
Oh, weak on the second one. Well, you kind of put it together late. I actually like my second one better. I'm going to give my second one a 7.3 and my first one a 6.4.
Okay.
All right. So what's your first one?
I'm going to go with Show You True Colors.
Tell me about it. I was trying to take a sip there. You could have just kept talking through that.
Hey.
So.
Okay, sorry. I'm still relatively new to the whole hosting a podcast thing. I still gotta get used to that.
Yeah, you help your partner out when he's drinking.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
All right, so show your true colors. Are you showing your true colors with that?
I maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Okay,
we'll see. All right, so this phrase dates back to the 1700s. It has a nautical origin and it refers to the color of the flag which every ship is required to fly at sea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I think Captain Mayhem might have told us a little bit about this.
Oh no!
But no, tell it again because it's a really good. Is this one the one you gave a 6? I would give that a 7. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good. So thank you for making me feel better now.
Okay.
All right. So pirates used to deceive other ships. Wait, hold on, wrong camera. My bad. So pirates used to deceive other ships by sailing under false flags, so that they would not excite suspicion. The other ships, thinking that the pirates were friendly, sailed close to them and fell under their grip. It was only after attacks that pirates would show their true flag.
Okay, there was a tax put on them?
Yeah.
There were taxes put on criminals that they were forced to show their true colors.
Let's see. Wait,
how did they collect that tax?
Wait, hold on. Oh, geez, my words suck today then. It's because pirates used to deceive other ships by sailing under false flags so they would not excite suspicion. There was no taxes involved.
Oh, there was no taxes involved. Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, illiterate pirates creating up a taxation system. Mm-hmm. They must be really bored on a ship to create a tax.
Well,
system.
they had a true democracy on the ship. The captain had the same voting rights as any of the mates on the ship. Like in the lowest person, the person that cleaned the latrine had the same voting rights as the captain. And a captain could get voted off at any time if the crew thought the captain wasn't doing a good job. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like, it comes off as, a mutiny like a government. It was, in our military, it was, you could get voted off as a captain at any time. All right. I think that's some wacky stuff, man.
Wacky indeed.
Wacky.
Whack.
All right. My word is wacky.
All right. Wacky.
Okay. Do you have any idea where wacky might have came from?
So just to confirm the spelling, it's WACKY.
WACKY. Wacky.
Okay, so
Like you're acting wacky.
Okay, so it's not like whack or the other establishment in Jacksonville.
Not wackos. No. No, and actually you've hit it pretty much right on you whacked it right on the head. I was going to say you hit it on the head, but you whacked it right on the head. It comes from the word whack, to be whacked. All right. And it was the word whack formed into wacky in the late 1800s in the British Empire. So in Great Britain. And it was, you would act wacky because you got hit over the head too many times.
So they were definitely seeing stars around then.
Yeah. So they were seeing the stars. And, when I think of the word wacky, I go to cartoons, which is going to be a topic coming up soon. But it's used, it was used first in Great Britain, and then it made its way over to the U.S. When people act wacky, it started from the verb of being whacked over the head.
Yeah, so probably every person that was called wacky, they probably had concussions.
Yeah, they might have. They might have had a concussion. Yeah. So, all right, what's word number 2?
So you know what's interesting? So we like to call this word origins, but it's always been like phrases or anything like that. So,
yes.
So should we change the name of that?
No, we can stay with phrases. I mean, phrases are usually more fun.
Okay.
Because word origins, a lot of them come from Latin or were created by Shakespeare, and they don't have good stories with them and how they morphed. The story of how they morphed into the phrase, or how that's more interesting than just going. And it was from Britannica, and so the phrases actually are usually better and have a better story to them. So what is yours a phrase?
All right. So my next phrase is "go haywire."
Go haywire. Okay.
All right. So what's like your first image in your head, like when you think about going haywire?
It's getting a little wacky, going a little crazy, getting out of control.
Okay, good.
Like, and I'm unfortunately, the way my brain works, I go to a lot of cartoon characters. So, what was it? Calvin and Hobbes. When Hobbes's hair would go all little crazy and stuff like that, or Bill the Cat, going a little haywire, a little out of control. So, all right. So go haywire. Where's the origin start?
All right. So it actually starts in 1891. Well, basically, haywire is basically started off as what you think hay wire.
Held the bundles together.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a software for binding bales of hay together. Did you have to do that on the farm or?
No, pigs don't really do a whole lot of hay. I mean, we had a horse that we did a little bit of hay, but we didn't have to do a whole lot of hay tossing. At my uncle's house we did, but not so much at ours.
So then we move on to 1905, where basically people start saying going haywire as poorly equipped and makeshift because it came from the sense that was something held together only with haywire. So you're trying to hold like this show together,
holding a big pile together with just a little cord.
Yeah. So you're the piece of haywire that
holds it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise last week's show with Lane and I,
it went a little haywire.
Yeah.
Without the haywire holding it together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Mine is my next one, and I'll give that one a 5.
Yeah.
I'll give it haywire. No, it wasn't. It's interesting that it went back to that, because I was thinking it might have went something with like the telegraph or something like that with the wire. But I understand the whole farm. A lot of things come from farm references. All right. So my next one is a boob tube. Okay. It was a term really popular in the 60s. Okay. You know what a boob tube is?
No, but my 13-year-old self wants to laugh, and just giggle like during sex. I was like,
He said boob. All right. So boob tube is a television for us Gen Xers and boomers. All right. Bobby understands what it is. Melissa nailed it right away. And a boob tube, the term boob came and was first written in 1909, and it was referenced in Great Britain again as a fool. So if you're a boob or a booby, and then it went back to booby, you were just not a smart person. And when television first came out, television actors and all of them were considered second-hand actors. So becoming second-hand made it cheap entertainment. And, the original televisions had tubes in them and stuff like that. And it morphed into a boob tube for, you work on the boob tube, not on the big screen. So it was kind of an insult to actors amongst actors, but it's still used very commonly in Great Britain and Australia, South Africa, and those areas that were predominantly controlled by Great Britain. So now you know what a boob tube is. And I'm surprised you didn't know that.
I didn't know it as
You
well.
never heard of it.
Okay.
Okay.
When I think about like boob tube, is that like a certain website you have to turn on the private browser?
Mm-hmm.
So because it sounds a lot like YouTube. So YouTube, boob tube.
Yeah, boob tube. That's pretty much what it came. YouTube came out of boob tube.
Okay.
So you made that connection. So very good, very good. But it started with the word boob, the origin of the word boob in 1909, and then when television came along, the boob tube became television.
Okay.
So, all right, TV shows and their final episodes. Blake, I have 3 here. You have 3, right?
4.
You have 4. Okay, I can come up with another one very quickly and talk off the cuff on it.
But
I went with the 3 that I felt did a really good job, and my 1 and 2 were the top 2 watched of all time of final episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and I have MASH, number 1. I mean, it's right up there with the Super Bowl of how many people watched it. Number 2 is Cheers, and then I went with one of my favorite series, and I thought they did a good job. And you have one of my series that I thought they did okay on. And I have Breaking Bad. What are the 4 that you have?
All right, so I have Friends,
Okay.
The Sopranos,
Okay.
Quantum Leap,
See, and I love all 3 of those shows.
and Roseanne.
Yeah, I wasn't a Roseanne fan. I thought she was funny in her stand-up. I didn't really enjoy the show. But of the 6 of the 7 shows, I really enjoyed the shows. So I want to start with one because I really don't remember, and I know Mike picked on it a little bit, and I don't remember the final episode of Quantum Leap. So, I mean, I remember Bacala and what was the computer's name? Izzy or something like that, Ziggy.
Mm-hmm.
What was the final episode of Quantum Leap? Because they rebooted it too.
Yeah. And you didn't like it, so but just real quickly, so because you were a big fan of Quantum Leap.
I was a big fan of the original ones. Yeah.
And so obviously so it's based on so there was this Dr. Sam Beckett who he had this machine that where during like 5 seasons he he was leaping like in like different bodies throughout like periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like one day he might be a cowboy, one day he might be an astronaut, one day he might be like
Yeah, but he could, and people don't realize this, he could only go back in time within his own lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to live it to go back in that time. He couldn't go back into the 1800s. So I think one time he leaped back into his older brother in Vietnam, and that being one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
So, and what was the guy's name who could go in and talk to him?
I think it wasn't Al. Who was who? Dang, I probably should have known this. Dang it. No, Sam Beckett was Al.
Al.
Yeah,
That's it.
That was it. Yeah, I heard this whole time. My bad. So basically, in the final episode, he jumped into himself, but not as himself. He jumped into himself when he was born.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all, and that's why I was hoping you I was hoping you would jar my memory, but it didn't work.
So his last one was in himself on the day that he was born, and so he actually learned that he was the one behind the time displacement, and that he had been in control of the leaps all along.
So it was certain things he wanted to do and change the world, and how he wanted to change the world. Okay, it's starting to come back to me.
Yeah, and then
so did they figure out if? And here's something, Ziggy and Al, did they figure out if that was the same person? Because it was always hard to tell whether or not Ziggy and Al were the same person.
Let's see, I didn't get. Let's see, Ziggy. I actually didn't get that far into. I only just searched up bad.
Well, in the new episode, I think they made Ziggy a woman.
Yes, I believe, or maybe non-binary. I think.
Yeah.
I think they made
non-binary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm good.
Gen X are talking.
Yeah.
We have he's and she's in my world. So.
Yeah. So
how did they rank the final episode of that Quantum Leap? Because it didn't stick out with me, and that's why, even though it was one of my favorite shows, I didn't remember that final episode.
So I looked online. I got this from Time magazine's like 10 most controversial series finales.
Okay.
Actually 3 of these were actually on the list.
Okay.
On here, and I think one of yours was, and this was actually number 8 as the most controversial.
Most controversial.
But so basically, Sam took the knowledge and leaps not to his own life, but to tell the wife of his holographic pal Al that her husband is still alive, and then that's how the series ends.
I do remember that, and it sucked. Yeah. Now I do remember that.
Because
that was a horrible way to end it.
But the reason why they did it was the show creators were thinking like, okay, we want to have something open if NBC does renew for the 6th season.
And they did.
But
and the first one, or the remake, wasn't awful.
Like,
but it was so different from the feeling you got from the first one, because it was.
And I think the big thing was the new Sam Beckett jumped out of his own timeline.
Yeah, he didn't stay within his lifetime.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Which one of mine was on the controversial?
I think it was Felina.
Felina. Oh, Breaking Bad. Okay. Well, and Breaking Bad is, I had this as my number 3 one, but we'll talk about it right now. In the season finale of Breaking Bad, and Breaking Bad was one of those shows that, one of the first shows I binge watched. All right, and you know how I am now. I'm a huge binger now. I'll let the entire series go, and then I'll binge it. All right, and Breaking Bad just was an amazing TV show, but it had a couple slow seasons at the end. And I thought they saved it at the very, very end. And great spinoff came out of it. You know, the spinoff that came out of Breaking Bad, right?
Mm-hmm. Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. And I think it lasted longer than Breaking Bad actually did. All right. And in this episode, Walter White, Heisenberg. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
I think I only watched like a few episodes, and then I just dropped out. I was like way too busy with my life.
And Heisenberg, who's Walter White, was a school teacher. He was sick. He needed money for the medication, but he was a chemist. He was a very, very talented chemist. He went into teaching, and he had, and thank you for my friends that are out there that are checking on us with the tornadoes. You guys are, I got some friends all over the country that are reading about the tornado. It did happen just north of St. Augustine.
So studio's still here, so we're fine.
Yeah, we're still here. We are live right now. But Walter White hooked up with one of his ex-students, Jesse Pinkham, and they went into the drug business. And they were making meth. And they were making a new type of meth. They become extremely wealthy at what they do, but now the drug cartel's after them. And the drug cartel, Walter White kind of falls on the sword at the end and shoots him up because he was such a brilliant guy. He shoots him up with this robot machine gun, and Jesse gets away crying at the end. So if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, that's how it ends. And I'm sorry if you're watching this show and you were binge watching and we ruined it for you, but that's going to happen in this show. I felt like it was one of the better made shows. It did suck like season 4, but they got it back together in season 5.
Yeah.
And it's a great show to binge if you've never seen an episode.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting for me, so even though I didn't watch like entire episodes, like there was a lot of memes about Breaking Bad, so I can understand the plot of Breaking Bad. So I and of course like when the final episode premiered, there were like people like clipping it out, putting it out on YouTube. So I did watch like the last scene where Walter collapsed and died.
Yeah, he I thought it was done really well. And like I said, it was one of the first ones I binged. And there was some great characters, Badger and Skinny Pete, which are friends of Jesse's, his drug buddies. Just, they developed the characters. The family of the Walter White's family was ridiculous. In my opinion, it was one of those situations that you kind of didn't want to like it, and you ended up rooting for the bad guys until you met the really bad guys, and then you stayed with your guys, Jesse and Heisenberg. So I think you should watch it. I think you should watch it. All right. So I'm not going to talk too much about Breaking Bad.
All right.
So what's your next one?
All right, dealer's choice. You pick.
Dealer's choice. What are my choices again? You have Sopranos, which is one of my favorite. I'm going to stay with the favorites.
All right, Sopranos.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Made in America. So it was the last episode of season 6. They actually split up season 6 into season 6A and 6B, and
which is becoming a common theme. And I don't know if it's production costs or why that is, but I mean, like MASH and Cheers, they were on network TV.
Yeah.
The HBO shows and some of the others, and the way it's.
But this was on the best TV time slot of all time. HBO Sunday 9 p.m.
Yeah, no, and that was my TV time.
Oh yeah, I'm not going in your bedroom. Just I'm just staying away.
Because it went from like Sopranos to the vampires when True Blood, and then it went to Game of Thrones, and so for about. What do you got? You unplug something?
I think I accidentally just unplugged the USB. Oops.
All right. Okay. So it went from all of those.
So I'm gonna be on camera for the rest of the way.
So we're just gonna. You're gonna see us two at this angle for the rest of the way. You got
Don't pick my nose.
Your big size 12 kicked it off.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure you fix that before we leave here. Pete don't want to. I don't want Pete to have to be mad at you. But Sopranos is another one of those that just Tony Soprano's character, in my opinion, him and Tyrion Lannister are the two best television characters of all time, in my opinion. And I'd love to hear other people. Oh, Shameless is another one out there, but that was on Showtime.
Yeah.
True Blood's ending was terrible. Game of Thrones, I thought was mediocre. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. And the other one that was out there, Walking Dead, I didn't do that one because I thought that one was terrible. But Tony Soprano and Tyrion Lannister, to me, are my two favorite television characters of all time. Do you have a favorite television character of all time? Besides the guys from Grand Tour.
No. Okay.
Fictional television character.
I mean, it has to. I really don't want to say Tony Soprano because he is one of the greats. So
yeah,
and plus my personal choice, Tony Soprano. It has to be.
My non-fictional is Blake Blevins on Bollox, Stocks, and Tangents.
Nah.
Yeah. So
no. Please no.
All right. So where in the controversial rankings did The Sopranos land?
I think it was. I can find it here. It was number 3.
Mm-hmm. It was number 3. They were in the diner. The entire family was in the diner.
Well, except for one. There was one family member that couldn't park. Who was that family member?
The mom?
No.
Was it Meadow?
It was Meadow.
Meadow. Yeah.
So
she started off as like a awkward teenager that turned into a beautiful young woman. And didn't Tony go to the bathroom at the end, and we don't know how it ended?
No. So it's all 3 of them. So it was Tony. What was the wife's name again? I forgot.
Falco's her name.
Edie Falco, yes.
Yeah.
Then AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Then so they were sitting at the diner. Don't Stop Believing was playing out of the jukebox. They were eating onion rings. A couple guys walk in first. So then they see Meadow try to park, like parallel park in like a big like GMC Suburban.
Mm-hmm.
So she's trying to park. Then another guy walks in. Then finally when Meadow parks and runs in. So we see the doorbell ring. Then all of a sudden the end of Don't Stop Believing when it goes Don't Stop. Black.
And it just went.
Yeah. Do you remember watching that or?
No, I remember watching it. That was a show. I mean, I knew they were in the diner, and they left it as a cliffhanger. And I was like, okay, they're coming out.
Carmela Soprano.
Yeah, Carmela. That was her name.
Yeah.
And and just Tony was such a survivor in my mind. It was just like he got out of it. Whatever happened after that, he got out of it in my mind.
Yeah.
So even if the guys were bad guys or not, but the type of life he lived, he had to always believe someone was after him.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't imagine living that life. Another one where we're rooting for the. I mean, we talked about 2 shows already, where American television has us rooting for the criminal.
Yeah.
You know what? We're talking about Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
We rooted for the criminal.
Yeah.
Soprano. I mean, these are 2 of the best rated shows out there, and we're rooting for the criminal.
Yeah.
What's that say about our minds? We root for the bad guys?
I mean, if you understand their struggle, their plight, like if you understand like why they act the way they act, then yes. I mean, it is sometimes relatable. Like,
yeah.
I mean, when I
think
can also think about it in like pro wrestling as well. Like when the NWO came out in WCW. A lot of people are still cheering for them because
the villains.
Yeah, they were the villains. They were beating up like luchadors, like that were trying to make a living like wrestling. But people liked them because
you got to have evil so you understand what good is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have bad, you can't truly understand good.
Yeah.
You know, and it'd be nice if everyone was good.
Yeah.
But would we appreciate it?
Yeah, not everyone can be Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, the American Dream.
Yeah.
So
I'm so glad Cody finished the story though.
Yeah, he was. They let the good guy win. But with Tony Soprano, and with Walter White, they're characters that were, and even in True Blood, the other one, there were characters that were people that murdered people, and yet you still rooted for them. I mean, that kind of shows our dark side of America. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You watch a lot of wrestling and stuff like that, and you understand the villains and the storylines and stuff like that. What villain do you feel people were the most drawn to in wrestling history? Because I can think of like 2 or 3 right off the top of my head that were villains that people were naturally drawn to.
I'm gonna have to
say they were so good at being villains, they ended up being the good guy. They morphed into the good guy.
I mean, he was actually so good. This is actually a modern wrestler, but he's like so good that he's like the best of all time. It's an AEW wrestler, Maxwell Jacob Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a Long Island kid like Lenny.
Uh-huh.
Grew up with the same heritage as Lenny. he was like a former high school football player that just like drives Rolls Royces, wears like a Burberry scarf, but underneath him, it's someone who has like ADD that constantly got bullied for being Jewish, like. So there's like a lot of
but was that his character? I mean, like I'm thinking like characters, and and the character I'm thinking of is Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah. All right, like he was the one. He was against all authority. He was against Vince McMahon. He was all this, but he became the hero by flicking off everybody and drinking beer off the thing. And the other one that I was thinking of, that still he showed up in WrestleMania, The Undertaker. Mm-hmm. The Undertaker first came out, he was a super villain, but he became so popular they had to make him the good guy.
Yeah, but there's like a difference between like new story, like old storytelling, like new storytelling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bob, you're right. Hulk Hogan did go from good to bad,
and back to good again.
Yes. Yeah, bad personality backstage, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, he had a lot going on.
Yeah.
So Thunder Lips from Rocky 3 for you acting people.
But like most part with like old wrestling, like with the Undertaker, like people only got to see him for like a limited amount of time. Like it might all just be like a Saturday morning show or like when a live tour happens. Mm-hmm. So you can only get a limited amount of story.
See, I like Undertaker even more because he married a Palatka girl in real life.
Yeah.
So he's got to be okay. He married a Florida girl.
Mm-hmm. But with like modern wrestling, like you have a lot more avenues for storytelling. So you have like your weekly shows. So you have social media.
Yeah, well, the stories have to be deeper.
Yes.
And I don't know if they've gotten better. I mean, like Gorgeous George was a great story. That wasn't that guy. He wasn't that guy at all. But it was a character that was created specifically for wrestling. Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's go back to
TV shows.
Let's go back to TV shows. But first thing we got to do is we got to talk about our sponsors. Kaiser's Deli and Market, right there on Anastasia Boulevard. They do an amazing job. They have the Bollox sandwich over there. Go over and try it out. It's a nice, if I want a fresh cold cuts turkeys, it is a great sandwich. Try it out. You like the White Street. I like the Rolly when I like a hot sandwich. But Kurt Kaiser over there, they do an absolute amazing job. They're doing breakfast now. Give them a try. And this is one we did not talk about on the first go round, and I apologize, Reggie. We did not talk about how great Meehan's Irish Pub. We're in this studio, so I didn't have my normal notes. Meehan's Irish Pub. They have 3 bars in one. They have Johnny's Oyster Bar upstairs. They have the regular pub downstairs, and then they have the backyard where they always have live music on the weekends. Just an amazing staff, great food. You won't be disappointed. You go to Meehan's, you're going to have a wonderful time. You're going to be entertained. There's wonderful people watching. If you sit out there on the deck or on the porch, you have a beautiful view of the Intercoastal. Go by and see him at Meehan's.
You okay?
I hiccuped right in the middle of that. It was, I think it was Clay's hiccups jumped on me from this morning.
Oh, dude. No, right. Pete was struggling as well this morning.
Yeah. All right. Citygate Spirits and St. Augustine Distilleries. These two sister companies, they're owned by the same people. They do an amazing job. These distilleries, they have the best tours in town. If you are a guy who likes to sip on, or a woman who likes to sip on some bourbon or whiskey or rum or gin or vodka, they have all these tastings at the distillery, St. Augustine Distillery, and they have a variety of different whiskeys you can try at Citygate Spirits. Abear Kresge and Associates, the best tax guys in town. Give them a call. I know it's getting close to that tax time. Get your information in, get that extension. They'll take care of you. I would say don't call them today. It's probably too late for you, but get that extension in. All right, St. Augustine Pirate Museum, they have an event coming up. I believe it's tomorrow night working with the Sheriff Department. It's for a fundraiser for their reentry program. Bless you, Blake. But their museum has over 800 original artifacts, and they have to show their colors. Did you sneeze yourself into a pain?
Yes,
Blake all of a sudden started like grimacing after he sneezed. He's 23 years old.
My neck.
That should not
my
happen.
neck and my back.
That should not happen until
My
later
neck.
in life. Love you, Cindy, over there. You just do a wonderful job of being a community leader, and we appreciate you. All right, our newest sponsor, Anastasia Miniature Golf. They have a great course right there on Anastasia Boulevard, just past the Holiday Inn Express. As you cross the Bridge Alliance, it's on the right-hand side. It's the one with the pirate ship. And they have beer and wine, a wonderful little snack bar area, and such a fun night out with the family. Miniature golf's always fun when I kick your ass. Yeah, and that's, I'm the most competitive person in our family.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure.
All right. So I have two that I want to get to. I have my favorite of all time, and the one that kind of caught me off guard. All right, which one you want to do? The one that caught me off guard or my favorite?
The one that caught you off guard.
All right, the one that caught me off guard was the TV show MASH. Now, I love the TV show MASH, and this final episode aired when I was a junior. I'm pretty sure I was a junior I was a sophomore in high school. But I watched this show. It was a show, in my opinion, that had kind of taught me sarcasm. And I don't know if you know this, but I speak sarcasm very fluently, and it's because of the TV show MASH.
Oh boy, that makes the whole family happy.
Yeah, no, and I can tell you, it was the final episode was called "Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen." All right, and Alan Alda was the director of it. Alan Alda was Hawkeye in MASH, and he was the director. He was one of the writers on it. They had several writers, but he was fully involved in this. They had several guest people in it. And one of the plot goes, Hawkeye Pierce, and I just dropped the cap there. Hawkeye Pierce which was the main character and the character everyone loved and hated at the same time. Thank you, Blake. It's him in a psychiatric hospital because he's now suffered from a nervous breakdown of what happened at the end of the Korean War. So in the MASH unit, the 4077 was a mobile hospital during the Korean War. And it spun off out of a movie that was in the early 70s. But Hawkeye he was on the road on a bus, and they were trying to avoid, it was at the end of the Korean War, they were trying to avoid an enemy patrol. So there's a bus loaded up with locals and, local friendlies and people from the MASH unit. And Hawkeye was trying to keep a woman who was holding a chicken to keep the chicken quiet. Okay. And in Hawkeye's mind, and it goes on because the unit's all around him and they're walking around and they're trying to hide and they're trying to be quiet and they're trying to keep away from this enemy unit, and the chicken's clucking and Hawkeye's like, you got to keep it quiet. You got to keep it quiet. Well, Hawkeye had put that story together in his own mind, and what had happened, Hawkeye got onto this woman so much about her chicken clucking that she smothered her chicken. Well, that's how the story kind of leads into and stuff like that. There's a lot of other stuff going on at the same time. But in actuality, the big twist was Hawkeye put that in his head that it was a chicken. But in actuality, he almost forced the woman to smother her own baby. So it was very traumatic. It made Hawkeye have his nervous breakdown. And at the end, it made this show so great. Klinger was one of the characters from Toledo, always wore the Toledo Mud Hens hat. Klinger was trying to always get a Section 8, like to get out, wear dresses, try to act like he was a crazy person so he could get out of the Army. He ended up marrying a local Korean woman and staying in Korea when everybody else was leaving. But, and I'll skip ahead to several others. Colonel Potter, he had a horse named Sophie. He had to leave Sophie behind. He left Sophie with an orphanage so that they had a horse. Honeycutt, which was Hawkeye's best friend, rode him to the helicopter as he was flying away. And he words something to Hawkeye as he's in the helicopter, like, I left you a message. And as he's flying away, and this is the last scene, as he's flying away, Honeycutt had written in big stones, just goodbye. And that's how they ended the show. I thought it was a great ending. The second best one was my most favorite, which is Cheers, and we'll talk more about that one in a little bit. But those people that saw, this was the most watched final episode of any TV show in the history of network television.
Okay.
So,
all
right.
Good selection. Now, so I wasn't the target audience for MASH because well at the time I might have been, but
if you grew up in that age, I think you would have got it.
Yeah. So
sarcasm's not your favorite though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. I'm gonna be honest and tell you right up. I originally thought MASH was about the Vietnam War.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No, it's about the Korean War. So, and Barbara Jean, I love Donald Sutherland and I love the movie, but I got to disagree with you. Donald Sutherland was it for 2 hours. Alan Alda was it for, I think, 8 seasons. So I think that shifted. And I think Alan Alda, in my mind, will always be Hawkeye, not Donald Sutherland. And I love Donald Sutherland because Donald Sutherland played Hawkeye in the movie.
Okay.
So he might have created it. Alan Alda perfected it.
All right.
So,
all right. So my next one is Friends, the last one. Now speaking because you know like all the episodes of Friends start with the one with blah. So it's this might be a good question of the day for you in the future. If you were a Friends episode, what would the one with be for you?
One with, what are you saying? You're confusing me.
Oh my!
Are you talking? I mean,
here. Look, because you know, each Friends episode starts with the one with blank. So if you were in the Friends episode, what would that?
What's
Friends
the blank, Blake? I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, because you know each episode's title is called the one with something. It might involve like the one
okay.
with...
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
I didn't. I don't look at the titles of an episode. I watch the episode. So I thought you were talking about like the one with Monica or the one with Chandler or the one with. I don't know what that means.
Look here. Also, all these ones here start with the one with something.
One with the Sonic. I didn't even know that was the one with boobies. I mean, you know, I didn't even. I can tell you right now, I didn't know that was a thing. And it's all the way through.
All the way through.
I've watched most episodes of Friends, and I didn't know that each one of the episodes are called the one with whatever. That is totally new to me. And I don't think the average person knows that.
Yeah. So
when did you find that out? Just today?
No, recent. Like I kind of knew it for a while. Like,
okay.
So if I was if I was a guest star on Friends, they'll probably call the episode the one with the sports nerd. Mm-hmm. So they'll probably call it. So if you were a guest star, they'll probably call
the beard or whatever.
The one with the prospector.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize that. I thought you were going with like. You know, which one would you be? Which is a common Friends episode. By the way, you're clearly a Ross. Clearly, it's not even close. You're not. You're clearly a Ross.
David Schwimmer perfected that character well.
I think I'm more of a Chandler, with a little bit of Joey.
Okay.
So I don't know. And anybody out there in the comments, tell me which one of the Friends you think you might be. So. All right, so their final episode, I don't remember their final episode, and this means and I watched the show quite a bit, but I don't remember their final episode.
So the last episode is most famous for Ross and Rachel's dramatic reunion. It was basically the one where basically Phoebe, so Phoebe had to run to both JFK the John F. Kennedy Airport in New York, and then go all the way to Newark in one night to tell Ross, in time for Ross to tell Rachel that she loves her.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
so
And Phoebe was the taxi driver or something at that time, right?
yes, I believe so. So
Yeah.
and plus what also made this episode special was like David what was it David Schwimmer, Joe Matt LeBlanc, who was else
Matt, the other Matt.
I mean Matthew Perry, Courtney Cox.
Yeah, the one who died was Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Right?
Who else was in there? Blonde one, Jim Henson. No, not thinking about her.
Jennifer Aniston.
She was in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jennifer Aniston was Rachel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's who Ross was going to profess his final love for.
Yeah.
Like he'd married her once, then he tried to marry a girl from England, but he said Rachel's name at the wedding, and then he was in. I think Rachel just at the end just said it's too late or something, right?
Yeah.
It didn't end happy. I don't believe.
They actually did. They were actually able to manage to kiss again.
Okay.
They were actually managed to, but what made this finale special was, so once filming was done, Matt LeBlanc was so heartbroken by the prospect of the show ending that he started up smoking again. Mm-hmm. So it was just like too stressful for him.
Well, Matthew Perry, even throughout the show, had a drug addiction, and that's kind of what ended his life early, which was really kind of sad. But the reunion was good. Mm-hmm. I was always a fan of Phoebe. Yeah, the quirky girl.
Have you ever seen the Joey spinoff?
I watched the Joey's. It wasn't great. Good. It wasn't great.
I mean,
he was better on Top Gear than he was on the Joey spinoff.
Even then,
yeah. Well, he was coming after guys that have been the best of the best for 9 years in Great Britain.
All right. But you know which show Joey watched so he watched a show that you're about to talk about, and on Friends. What show did he watch?
It's got to be Cheers.
Yep,
it's got to be Cheers, and I could see him loving Cheers because guys of that time frame loved Cheers. Mm-hmm. Sam Malone. I mean, it was Coach, Woody, Cliff. Everybody's got a little bit of each of those characters in it. So, Cheers. I mean, and Cheers is a little bit before your time too. Yeah. So, and you watch more stuff on YouTube. And do you think that watching the series have died off, or because I mean, people are really into Yellowstone.
Yeah.
People were really into Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. Do you think watching a series is kind of dead now? Because it used to be, when I was growing up, you were like, okay, it's Tuesday at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be watching, it's 8 o'clock. Must-see TV was Tuesday night, and it was Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Night Court, that group. All right. Did you have a night where you watched TV, or was it? It was already beyond that by the time you got into it.
I personally think it was just like way too sporadic to tell. Like
it was already beyond that. Like there was so many choices. Like when I grew up, there wasn't that many choices.
And I personally think the big thing is just like do I really watch shows that? Okay, do I really watch shows that much, or do I watch do I just pop on a baseball game?
Yeah, no, and that's kind of we used to. When I was growing up, luckily the Braves and the Cubs on WGN was the Cubs, and TBS was the Braves. Mm-hmm. So we were able to watch those as I got older. But when I was younger, the only thing you had was the game of the week and maybe Monday Night Baseball for certain weeks. And I couldn't watch that because I had to be at bed at like 10 o'clock. So I couldn't see the end of the game. So that's how I became a Reds fan, because in the early 70s, it was if it was American League, it was like the Oakland Athletics. And if it was a National League team, it was the Cincinnati Reds. So those two teams were the predominant teams, and that's how I became a Reds fan. The Reds dominated the 70s. The Oakland Athletics dominated the 70s in the American League.
So Royce, why didn't you become a Oakland A's fan? Like what was it that...
I related more with the Reds team, especially my favorite player's Johnny Bench, because his personality fit, who I wanted to be more like. but I played more like Pete Rose. So I modeled a lot of my style of play after Pete Rose because I wasn't a catcher. I caught some games and stuff like that out of necessity, but I wasn't a catcher.
Yeah. So was like your batting stance more like scrunched up than
especially because I was so small, and I knew I had to. I was the best player on a lot of teams I was on, but I never was the player with the most talent.
Yeah.
Because I had to outwork other people. I knew I didn't have the size. I was quick, but I didn't have the size. I didn't necessarily have the ability to just walk up, and I had to work for everything I had, which makes it better for me, I think, in life. It's part of my work ethic is because that's how I had to succeed in sports, and it kind of carried over into work. I mean, and people joke about how many jobs I have and stuff like that. But my talent level, I was never great on defense, but I was always able to create runs with frustrating and outsmarting and doing some things. Like I said, I had to be creative as a player to keep myself in the lineup because I wasn't a good practice player. If you put a uniform on me and you put me beside the other 12 guys on the team, I would have been the last pick. 100%. I would have been the last pick. I was small. I was skinny. But if you saw me play in the game, I would have been the first pick. And it sounds crazy that that's the way it was, but that's how I've always looked at my life too. So it's created a good work ethic for me that, I'm grateful for baseball and sports that it gave me. So I don't know how we got there, but I want to talk about a baseball series that people don't understand it being a baseball series, even though I wasn't a Red Sox fan. All right. And that is Cheers. And
we actually went by there.
Yes. When we were in Boston, we drove by there. We didn't get out and go into Cheers.
It probably would have been way too busy anyway.
Yeah, well, I was with you and Aiden, and neither one of you drink, so having a drink and Cheers, I would have just looked like an alky dad. So it was a 90-minute episode. It was actually 98 minutes. It appeared in 93. But Cheers to me is just has a character. It had 11 seasons, and it had a character for everyone. All right, just everyone who was out there had a character. And
wait, hold on,
Sam Malone.
Hold on, Mike. So hold on, go back to the. I just saw the character sheet.
Yes,
did Mike Ditka really appear in this?
Yeah, Mike Ditka appeared as himself in the final episode. So he appeared as himself in the final episode. Shelley Long, kind of the love interest of Sam, she left in like season 5 or 6. She came back for the final episode. Just so many different characters that were involved in this. Sam and Coach, I related to Coach before he left. He was replaced by Woody Harrelson, who I feel was one of the most underrated actors out there, who's probably coming out of the TV show Cheers, has probably been the guy who's been the most successful after Cheers, in my opinion. And he was just a dopey guy that replaced Coach, who was Sam's right-hand man. Sam was a relief pitcher for the Red Sox. Sam Mayday Malone. But to me, it's another one of that final moment in Cheers is Norm Peterson, who was played by George Wendt, the big guy. He was an accountant. And he always ran up a tab, always had a one-liner as he walked in. And when you walked in the bar, everyone yelled, "Norm!" And it was just the song was, everybody knows your name, you want to be where, I don't want to sing because I'm terrible at singing. I'll mess it up.
Plus copyright.
Yeah, copyright. Cliff Clavin was a nerdy postal worker who always had facts. So unfortunately, if you made me assign myself to a character of Cheers, I'm a cross between Frasier, who was a psychiatrist, a radio host, and psychiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but you know all my friends come to me for those type of things. And Cliff, who knows stupid facts that no one should know, and that's 100% who my character is. And even my life was more like Sam's. So I was such a hodgepodge of this show. I related to it in so many different ways, but at the end of the show, all they did, and this is the way you're supposed to end the show. He just walks out the bar and he turns off the lights, and that's the end. Mm-hmm. That was the end of the show. So to me, it was the best goodbye. One of the interesting facts about this was that president at the time was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton had called and said, hey, I want to show up. This is so big. I want to be a part of Boston life and show up in the final episode. He was written into the final episode about 3 weeks before they went to air it. His political people came and said, nah, it's probably not the right fit. And they ended up having to write him out. But Bill Clinton had planned on being in the final episode. They already had a part for him written into the final episode, like they did Ditka, like they did Behringer, like they did a lot of the other celebrity people, and it just, he got written out of it. So it kind of made it a crazy ending. All right, but here's some of the people, the cast: Ted Danson, Kirstie Alley, Woody Harrelson, Rhea Perlman, John Ratzenberger, who became a voice actor more than anything else. George Wendt. After Cheers, this one won a ton of awards. Kelsey Grammer with Frasier, mm-hmm. And now Frasier's back again. So Cheers still lives on. Ton of guest characters, but you know what? We're out of time. And great job, Blake. Appreciate those things. I still think you should go back and watch Breaking Bad. But I want to say thank you to you guys. If you would, please hit that share button. Share this show. Let us know which TV shows you want us to talk about. If we come back to the TV shows, Barbara Jean was talking about Mary Tyler Moore. Also a great show, didn't make the cut. Another one that was out there, All in the Family, didn't make the cut because we just didn't have enough time. So I want to say thank you, guys.
This is Bollox, Talks and Tangents, and we'll talk to you
next week.